Hey guys, Jeff Howard here at FixMyKite.com. So this is a wing from Sri Lanka. Now there's a lot of them being manufactured, so this valve specific is on them. This isn't a common issue, but this is how you want to replace it. So the customer sent us, because this is not a super easy process, but I want to show so other people can do this. They sent me this valve. It does have tear aid. You want tear aid, you don't want any kind of foam. Any kind of foam is failure. Anyway, what they do is they bond this to it, and it's very hard. It'll make it more difficult. I'll be able to make it work, but you can see how when they press it on, you get all these dips in here. That can cause imperfection of bonding, and it will cause leaks. Now, the other thing that they're not providing, which you've got to have, you can't just stick this flat on there, is you've got to have a large disc. This is an installation disc, installment disc, I guess I would call it. The reason is when you cut this valve out, you have to cut in a very, very wide circle. That's the only way to get this valve out. Now, I don't know if you can see what failed in here, but there's a crack in the wall. So if you see a leak, I don't even know if it's possible to see. It's very hard. It's down in the red. There's a crack in the threads right there. So you have to cut this out of here and be very specific. Take your time and get around the edge without stabbing any part of the other bladder. So now that I have it cut out, I want to install it. So what I say is just call us, get ours. This is the same valve, but notice how flat that is. Everything is smooth. This makes it much easier to install, much easier. So that's our Fix My Kite valve. And I back it up, has the Velcro and all. But since the customer sent this to me, and I'm glad he did, because he would have had a very difficult time, because the manufacturers are not providing the full kit you need to get the correct placement. So what we're going to do is, there's a disc down in here. You can see this little plastic disc. This is just the packaging. What you want is to fill that space and void. So when I stick down the mega patch, you can see this is going to go onto here and clean all that area up and get back to the dimensions I need right here. Nice and clean. It'll go down through there, and that will go on top of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this. I've got this taped down. If you have a friend, it's easier. They can pay attention and keep everything as flat as absolutely possible. I've cleaned this with alcohol. I've dried it, get the residue off with my hair dryer slightly, and now I'm ready to stick it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel back the tear aid very carefully, and I'm going to place that over. Now softly lay it down, and there's going to be imperfections in there, but work your way around the edges, and you can see that disc is in there now, and all I have is a hole right there. So the tear aid's going to bond to that little disc. I'm going to finish pulling this off, and I'm going to slowly work my way out to get as many of these wrinkles and clear bond all the way around. All right, so now I've got the correct surface I need after I cut that out, and I've got good bonding. If it was just this, see all these little wrinkles that are kind of in here? Those would have been around this edge, and you have a possibility of leaking. You need this mega patch first. Get it all back to normal. So now you have a good bonding surface for this imperfected valve. Work on this, get these edges up a little bit, push down on the bottom. You can see I've got a piece of cardboard. It gives me a space, so when the bottom of this valve goes down in there, it won't make any extra wrinkles. So all right, so now I've got it all flexed up as much as I can. And I got left and right, and that's where you want to put these little connection points, because when it goes back in, it tells me which way it's orientated, I guess you would say. All right, so now let's get this peeled off. Grab the center of the valve with my finger. All right, looks like they got a good bond in there. You can see how clear that is. So pretty good valve. So now I'm going to try to hold these edges up the best I can. Put the center down first. Keep that pressure in the center. And then I'm going to work my way around the valve to eliminate those wrinkles of any kind. All this kind of stretches. Now I've got my edges bonded. Now I'm going to push down on that center. And once that's finished, then you want to pull off all your tape that you've got holding it, or tell your friend to get their hands off of it, whatever you want. Now I'm going to work that from the center. I'm going to start pressing down in here. Get the fully sealed the best I can down in the center. And work it all the way around. Once that's done, warm it up a little bit. Get that tear aid to want to really bond down into that micro surface area of the bladder. Check for any wrinkles that extend all the way out. If you do have a few, you want to tighten it up as you massage that in there a little bit, stretch it. All right, so if you go to install one of these, do not do it if you do not have this disc. If you do, you're going to get leaks. It's just, that's the way it is. I don't know why they're not providing a larger patch. We have these mega patches. It's built out of a 6-inch tear aid. You can order 6-inch tear aid, cut your hole in there, but that's how you do it correctly. It's saying we're going to get installed, get it back to the customer so he can get back to riding. Anyway, that's Jeff Howard here at FixMyKite.com to fix an airlock 2-valve on, well, pretty much anything. Cabrinha or whoever else uses them, anything from Sri Lanka, North, all those. If you have any questions, let us know.